Welcome to a short prenatal yoga class. My name is Shelby. I'm currently 37 weeks, and I just wanted to document, practice while I was pregnant. I thought I should share. So please make sure you checked with your midwife or whoever your GP doctor is helping to manage your pregnancy, that you're actually safe to practice yoga. This will be a pretty strong practice, modified for vinyasa flow. So we'll be moving through sun salutations. And I recommend having a bolster or a big pillow and 2 blocks for your practice. So for today, we'll just start in a seat in either hero pose or sukhasana, legs crossed. So hero pose with your knees down, or you might choose to start with your legs crossed. Whatever makes you feel comfortable. Helping to elevate the hips can also help with the spine and create length in the spine. And as we arrive, start to gently close your eyes down. And while we're here, we'll take 3 deep breaths to arrive. The first one, acknowledging the past, for it's led you here to this practice. Taking a big inhale. Sigh the breath out. And then a second breath to acknowledge the future, maybe meeting your baby soon and wherever life takes you. Inhale. Let it go. And then a third one for the present right now, allowing yourself to arrive and letting go of anything or things tying you back, strings, leaking your energy, etc. Feel grounded through the sit bones and lengthen out the crown of the head as if you're trying to grow taller. I'll add a couple movements of drawing the shoulders up towards the ears. Inhale. On the no breath, draw them back. As you exhale, let them glide back down again. So 2 more like that. Inhale, roll the shoulders up towards the ears, draw them back, and then exhale, let them glide back down, away from your ears. Last one, up and back, and then letting them go. So just scanning through the body, working if you can just lift up through the chest a bit more, find that little bit of support. Maybe gently check in with the pelvic floor, slight contraction, and then letting it release, just being aware of it through the practice. Usually helpful to exhale and it draws in naturally as you're moving and flowing. And then we bring it up a few times. But in the 3rd trimester, the focus is more on releasing when we're coming into labor, to allow that to relax. And throughout the practice, maintaining a steady breath. So maybe just checking in with your inhale, maybe a longer exhale to help you soften and relax. If you can, maintaining a ujjayi breath, where you're breathing in and out through your nose, or feel free to exhale through your mouth, whatever feels more comfortable. And taking rest when you need it. I want to share my affirmation or intention I've been working with this whole pregnancy. And that sentence I've been really coming back to a lot is, I soften intensity with my breath. So anytime I feel like an intense situation, or with labor coming up, when I experience the contractions, I remember to breathe. Another thing to check in with is, are you breathing or are you resisting? We'll just take 3 breaths here, maybe dwelling on that. Start to flutter your eyes open if they were closed, just so you can have a look at where we're going next. I'm just going to change the position of my legs. So if you were in legs crossed, maybe you can come into hero like me, or come into Sukhasana, we'll just take some gentle stretches through our arms. So inhale to take a breath in, rise the arms up, and hands come through prayer, exhale. Take another breath in, and then you can take your hand to the bolster, left hand to the bolster, maybe one hand to, or left hand to your knee if you can reach, and the other hand towards your hip. If you're in hero like this, we'll take a gentle twist towards the right. So mindful of your belly, you want to keep space in your belly, avoiding contracting or compressing. You want to focus on the height of the crown of the head. Big inhale. Exhale, maybe you can turn your gaze over your shoulder if it's okay for your neck. Keep the chin slightly tucked. And then we'll inhale, come back to the middle. And then over to the other side. So if you're sitting cross-legged, one hand can go to the knee. I'll show you in hero how that would look. Using my bolster as a prop, left hand on my hip, just to help me keep nice and steady breath and guiding yourself back. Not overdoing it, just getting a little bit of a twist. Breathe deep. And then we'll come back towards the middle. Right, and make our way into tabletop position. I must excuse myself for pulling my pants up properly all the time, because this is like, I think is the biggest part of prenatal yoga, constantly pulling your pants up and adjusting, and then postnatal will be adjusting your bra constantly. All right, so here we'll just do a couple of wrist stretches. So start to walk your fingers, so we're in table, and just bring your fingers back towards your knees. If they can't go that far, maybe you just work side to side, kind of rocking a little bit, just to warm up through our wrists and our forearms. You can tuck the toes and kind of sink your hips back. Rock forward and backwards again. And then when we unwind, gently shake out your wrists. So little shakes like so. And if you have any wrist complications, you could come to fists maybe, or use blocks underneath your hands. So line everything up, hips over knees, and watch the curve of your spine. So you want the length, the belly to be engaged a little bit. So you think of lifting baby from below. So gently draw in, kind of like you're squeezing out a tight pair of pants. And watch how that curve kind of happens if I just let it hang, but then start to engage. So it's helpful when you exhale and it starts to contract. So you just feel that lift from below, that support of baby below, like you're making a little band. We're activating our transverse abdominis. So coming into cat-cow, focus on just lifting the chest for cow, not so much dipping, so still maintain a bit of support. And exhale, round for cat. So press the floor away from you, spread shoulder blades. Inhale, lifting chest, gaze, length. Exhale, rounding the spine. Take two more like that. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to round. Now here you may like to get a bit more loose with your cat-cows. So one I call disco kitty, kind of roll the heart in circles, or you can roll it back the other way. We'll just take about 5 rounds expressing. You can take a lateral cat-cow side to side, kind of just checking with my mood. And it's really good to just kind of swing the hips back in little rainbow circles like so. So finish up about 2 rounds of your choice. Maybe you've done a combo of all of them. Just get the body moving, it's really good. To remember in labor to be kind of flowing with your body, helping things move and progress. Okay, so then we'll start to tuck our toes, lift your hips up and back into downward facing dog. And now if you get kind of lightheaded or dizzy at all through your pregnancy because of blood pressure, whatnot, or nausea, keep your gaze lifted. Okay, feel free to bend the knees a little bit to support and have a slightly wider stance. Let the head relax if you're able to. Normally your gaze is past your toes. Pressing through the index fingers, hands are spread wide. Think of wrapping your armpits towards your heart, so your upper arms rotate out. Let's take 3 breaths here. Feel free to kind of wiggle the hips side to side again, allowing any fluid movement that wants to happen throughout this whole practice. Landing with your last breath in stillness, big inhale, and a complete exhale. So feel free to drop your knees down, otherwise you can lift your right leg up towards the ceiling, behind you. You can bend the knee, roll the hip open. Again, you could do this from table, and I'll demonstrate from table. And then looking forward, step your foot outside your right hand, lizard lunge. I'll use blocks under my hands as I'm running out of space. Start to take a breath in, lengthen the chest forward. And you can keep your hands on blocks or take your forearms down to the blocks. So your options. You can let the foot roll to the side, outer edge. Letting the heart relax, head relax. One further breath in. And exhale the breath out. Bring your hands to the blocks. And if you have room for your belly, walk your foot in between your hands. I'm running out of space, so I'll bring my hands to blocks on the inside. We'll pulse with our breath. Inhale to lift your chest and gaze. Exhale, you might pulse down. Inhale, rise. Just bring in that flow. Inhale, lift back up. And then we'll adjust for Anjaneyasana low lunge. So walk your foot back to the middle and let your hips sink forward. You can keep your hands on blocks or maybe towards your knee. Keep the chest lifted. Otherwise, you may lift the arms up overhead. Take a huge breath in, lengthen through your side body. Think of that supportive baby below. And a reminder to stay within 70% of your range as we have relaxing happening. Natural hormones helping us, our whole body just soften so the baby can grow. And then from here, we'll bring the right knee back, so bring your hands down. Come into cat-cow, we'll take 1 round. So inhale to lengthen the chest forward, spine, exhale round. And then look forward, tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Inhale, lift your left leg up towards the ceiling. And then you can drop your knee down if you need, otherwise bring your foot outside left hand. It's going to take me a few steps. Hands can come to the block for lizard lunge. Lengthen your chest, hips forward, and then you can bow down to your blocks, forearms can come down. Just take 2 breaths here to soften. Maybe see if you can soften around the belly if there's any tension right now. On your next inhale, again, we'll come back up into half Hanuman or half splits. So hands could frame your foot or keep the hands on blocks on the inside. We'll pulse, keep the toes flexed back. Inhale, lift chest. Exhale, fold. And feel free to have a slight bend of your knee. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Last one, pulsing up. Letting it go. And then lift yourself back up. Walk your foot in between your hands. Set up for your low lunge. So I'll guide my blocks forward. You might keep the hands on the blocks or hands to knee. Or go ahead and take the arms up. And engage where you're at. So start to press in the front foot a little bit. Kind of play with where you're positioned. We're not trying to get deeper in poses in prenatal yoga. We're just trying to maintain our flexibility and range. Further breath in. Bringing the hands back down. We'll take 1 cat-cow just to wash it off. So inhale to lengthen for cow. Exhale for cat. And from here, tuck the toes, lift your hips up and back. Take a breath in, down dog. Let the breath go and start to walk your feet to the top of the mat. So take little steps. Again, you can have your blocks there to make some space. And your feet will be about hips width apart or a bit wider if you need. So I like, from the 3rd trimester, I've been using blocks under my hands. Some people can bring their hands to their thighs. Maybe you just float and squeeze the shoulder blades back. Take a breath in again and halfway lift. And then forward fold. It may not be very deep, especially in your third trimester, you might just let the head go. And then start to press into your feet. Bend the knees slightly and start to bring your hands to your hips, lift all the way up to stand. We'll start to calibrate here. Adjust your pants if you need, like me. And find your feet on the mat. So you might spread the toes, lift them, and then re-ground them. Find the arches supported, so you're gripping the mat. Might place your hands on baby, and we'll take a moment to connect. Connect to your intention, maybe that my intention I've shared, soften intensity with my breath. Listen to the wisdom of your baby, send it love as we journey through this practice. So important to look after the mother, ourselves, because when we are looked after, the baby is totally looked after as well. We'll bring our hands back to Tadasana, so palms facing forward. Find height out of the crown of the head, that slight engagement, hugging baby from below. So you feel your lower back lengthen again. If it naturally tilts forward a bit like that. So kind of draw in. Inhale, lift the arms up. We'll start with a Surya Namaskar A, pregnancy variation. So catch your left wrist, lean towards your right, side bend. Inhale, come back to the middle. Catch your right wrist, reach it up and over to the left. Inhale, stretching tall, separate the hands. Exhale, forward fold. So hands can come through prayer and then down to blocks. Inhale, halfway lift. So looking for a flat back. And then coming through your tabletop position. So options for connecting vinyasas. If you are familiar with the vinyasa, we often have a plank to low plank. So you can take a cat-cow, or you shift your hands forward a little bit into a plank on knees, squeezing the thighs together, draw lower tummy in. So just shift forward over the knees. Exhale to bend the elbows. And then inhale, press back up into your low push from push up. Tuck the toes. We'll come back into downward facing dog. So feet hips width apart. Let's take 3 heel pulses. Inhale, rise your heels up. Exhale, ground your heels. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Last one, inhale. Exhale, sink the heels. And then take a breath in with the heels down. And exhale, start to step or walk forward. So you might come to your toes and waltz your way forward. Come to the top of your mat, halfway lift. Exhale, bow the chest. Press into the feet, slight bend of the knees. As you inhale, sweep the arms up. Catch your left wrist, side bend. Inhale to the middle. Catch your right wrist, reach it up and over. Inhale, stretching tall, supporting lower tummy. Exhale, forward fold. Hands can come to blocks. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping back. So you could either take cat-cow or take that plank to low plank variation I showed you. So start to squeeze the thighs together, shift forward. Exhale, bend the elbows. Inhale, press back up. Toes tucked, downward dog. 3 heel pulses. Inhale, rise. Exhale, ground. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Last one, up and down. Take a breath in there to prepare. Then rise to your toes. Exhale, step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees slightly. We'll do 1 more of these sun salutations. Catch your left wrist. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale, back to the middle. And check you're pressing the feet in the mat as you go to the left. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale, forward fold. Hands could be on blocks, halfway lift. Exhale, go through your connecting vinyasa. So that's your cat-cow or your plank to low plank. I'll take a cat-cow. So take my breath in and round as I exhale. Tucking the toes, lift up into downward dog. It's 3 heel pulses. Breath in to rise the heels. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, ground. Last one, inhale. Ground the heels slightly. And then you'll lift up to your toes as you inhale. Exhale, step forward. Take a couple steps. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let the chest drop. So now we'll come into a Surya Namaskar B variation, or Sun Sal B. So from here, start to sink your hips down and then lift your arms up for a chair pose. Or go ahead and adjust yourself as I am. Swing the arms up into the air, or have your hands at prayer if you need to for any shoulder things. Take a breath in. Exhale, swing your right arm back for a twist. Inhale back to the middle, staying in chair. Exhale, left arm back. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, forward fold. So hands can be on the blocks or the floor if you have room. Start to lift your left leg in the air behind you, kind of like standing splits. Breath in. And then let your knee come down, low lunge. So I'll use my blocks to come down. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, sink the hips. As you breathe in, bring your hands back down, and we'll come through our connecting vinyasa. So you can do the cat-cow or plank to low plank. I'll show you plank, exhale to lower, inhale up, and then press back to downward dog. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, bring it forward, back to your low lunge. So left leg's forward this time. Take your time setting up. When you're ready, you can take the arms up. Inhale. Oops, exhale, sink the hips. Take another breath in. And then exhale, hands come down, tuck the toes, standing splits. I'm gonna take my blocks with me. Breath in. And then lower the leg back down. The top of the mat. Halfway lift. Exhale, lower the chest. Sink the hips low. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, right arm back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, left arm back. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, forward fold. This time, right leg will go up in standing splits. So you can support yourself with blocks. Exhale, walk yourself back into your low lunge. Take the arms up, inhale. Let the hips sink down. Inhale. Hands come down. So either cat-cow or plank variation to low plank. When you're ready, as you exhale, press to down dog. From here, since our right leg went back, our right leg goes up. Inhale. Exhale, bring it forward, low lunge. Using blocks as you need. Inhale, the arms rise. Exhale, let yourself sink in. Another breath in. Hands can come down. Straightening your foot or walk the hands forward, standing splits, left leg high. And then lower the leg back down for your forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, bow. So next round, we're changing into another variation of Sun Salutation B. I'm going to crack my window because I am warm now. So come into your chair pose. Sink the hips down. You can have your feet about hips width apart in chair, making room for your tummy. Check your feet are active as well. Take a breath in and circle the arms wide. Interlace the fingers, lift the chest. Exhale, bow with the bottom. Breath in. Exhale, let your hands go. Halfway lift. And then step into your connecting vinyasa. So your plank to low plank or cat-cow. So breath in and out. And then as you exhale, press to downward dog. Inhale, lift your right leg in the air. You can bend the knee if that helps. And then position it in between the hands. Take a few steps if you need. We'll come into Warrior Two. So Warrior Two, your front heel intersects your back arch of your foot. So it's a little line going through here. Okay, just check your front knee stacked over the ankle. All right, you don't have to worry about getting that front thigh super deep. Just as long as you feel you're opening through the hips. Arms out wide. Flip the front palm. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, back up to Warrior Two. And then cartwheel your hands down. Stepping your left knee down, come into your table. You can take a cat-cow or plank to low plank. I'll show plank to low plank. Back to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg up. Exhale, Warrior Two. So you might use your hand to help it get there, whatever works. Walk your hands up as well. Front heel intersects back arch. Actively pressing that knife edge of the right foot. Fingers out wide. Flip the front palm. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, rise back up to warrior two. Exhale, cartwheeling the hands down. I take one hand to my knee as I come down as well, just to help support. Moving through my plank to low plank. Pressing back up. And then downward facing dog. Take one breath in down dog. Inhale. Full breath out. Inhale, rise to toes, look forward. Little steps to the top of the mat. We'll do this one more time. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Utkatasana, hips low, lift the arms. Circle the arms wide, interlace the fingers, lift the chest. Chest opener, so start to extend the legs a bit and bring the hands up and over. Make room for your belly. And then let the hands come down, halfway lift. And then stepping to your plank or your cat-cow. I'll keep going with the plank to low plank because I like that strength in my arms. And then back to down dog. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, warrior two. Big step. Ground the feet, open the arms. Flip the front palm. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, high to low plank. So you can use your hand on your knee to help guide yourself down. Or your cat-cow. So your options. And the left leg high. Exhale, warrior two. Stepping through. Whew. Find that support of your feet. Flip the front palm. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, all the way down to your mat. Cat-cow or plank to low plank push up. Downward facing dog. Breath in. Complete breath out. So here we can tap the knees down, rest in child's pose for a little bit. So normally child's pose is toes together, knees wide, you sit back towards your heels. You can stay a bit more upright if that's better. I find in the third trimester to make more room and tuck the toes. Then I can walk the hands forward and rest my forehead down. You might even rest your forehead on your hands. So once you find your position, we'll take 3 breaths here to just feel the heat that's been built in our body and breathe in and out. Check any areas of tension, soften them as you exhale. I'm starting to calm back up. I'm sorry to make you leave the floor. We'll lift back up to table. And you can step the feet back, downward dog. Reposition your feet, maybe kind of pebble it out a bit. And then look forward, we'll start to step back to the top of the mat. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And then here, bend the knees, we'll come up to standing and take your block with you. Okay, something shaped kind of like a block. We'll come to chair pose. All right, well, in a second, and I'm gonna time us for a minute. So set the block in between your thighs, okay, like so. If you don't have one, you can also be against a wall and practice it against the wall that way. So, starting to position yourselves. And I'll guide us through a couple of things you can do. This is kind of like labor prep or contraction simulation. When there's intensity, what can we do to soften it? Okay, getting ready, sinking the hips low. So here, you may pat the legs is a good distraction, or hands could be a prayer, or hands up overhead. So now you're focusing on your arms. And feel the feet pressing to the mat, squeezing the block between the thighs for that extra support. And the breath flows in and out freely. So watch if you do start holding your breath, that's not gonna help things progress. Okay, so we soften the intensity with our breathing. You can always hum the breath out or om the breath out. So you can hum, so whatever works. You can snap, or you can focus on the intensity. We're nearly there, so just keep on staying with it, sinking down. All right, just about 2 more deep breaths. Inhale. Letting it go. Breath in. Kanye is proud of us right now. And then start to press your feet to the mat. Come back up to standing. Shake it out a bit. Prance the feet. All right. Whew, feeling good. I might turn down the music a little bit. All right. So from here, we'll set up for a bit of a standing series. So at the top of your mat, and we kind of prep for this. Start to glide your left foot back behind you. And we'll come into crescent lunge. Ooh. Front shin is vertical. Hands can start at hips here. Now you can stay here if this is the most stable for you. Engage the back quad. So see how my knee just lifted. And we're going to pulse through a couple of rounds. So we'll straighten and bend the leg. Bring your arms into cactus. Elbows wide. Chest lifts. Still lifting baby from below. Okay. Exhale, straighten the legs. Inhale, lower. Exhale, rise. Inhale, lower. So that's 2. We'll go up to 5. Inhale, lower. Exhale to press up. I think I mixed up my breath. I think we have 1 more after this one. So lowering down. Exhale to press back up. And then hands to hips. So with the straight legs, come to pyramid. Good. All right. So your blocks are there if you want to use them under your hands. So to lengthen the crown of the head forward, hips stay nice and steady, and then you can take your hands down. Again, if you need to bring your hands to the inside to make room for your growing belly, it's all right. Lengthen the chest, and then allow yourself to bow a bit. Active in the feet, so like you're gripping the mat. My arches are lifting. Taking another breath in, and complete breath out. And then start to lift your gaze and lengthen the spine. You can use blocks, it's going to be helpful, or your bolster. Start to walk your hands forward, and we'll come into a modified warrior 3. So you bring that weight to your right leg, walk your hands out more so you have room for your whole torso. Okay, spiral the inner thigh up towards the ceiling. So it's not really about the height of your leg, you just want to focus on length. All right. If you're feeling really balanced, you could try hands to your heart or hands at hips. All right, just watching, and it could look shocking in this video. Okay, take another 3 breaths. Feel the glute working. I'll come back down to my blocks. Last one in. And then lower that top leg back down by the right foot. All right, start to bend the knees, come back up to standing. Shake it out a little bit. And we'll again come back into crescent lunge. So hands can come to prayer. And start to slowly guide our hands to your hips, the foot back. Hands on your hips to start. Find that engaging with the back quad. We'll do those pulses again. Okay, so it's that exhale to start with your legs straight. We'll inhale, lower cactus arms. So get ready. Inhale, lower. So your knee almost touches. Exhale, rise. Inhale, down. Exhale, lift. With the chest lifting. 3. Inhale, down. 4. 5. Exhale to press up. And then in our pyramid. So I walk that foot in a little bit. It's okay if your heel's slightly lifting. You can even turn the back toes forward more. Hands on the hips as you guide yourself forward. Maybe use your blocks or props. I'll bring my hands to the inside. Just makes more room for baby. You might just start to let the chin tuck. You're trying to guide the left hip back more in line with the right. So often, if we let it just go and spin out to the left, try to guide it back in. 2 breaths. And start to lift your gaze slightly. Might reposition your feet if you need. You might start with bending that left knee a bit as we spring forward into our warrior 3. Hands come down. All right, that glute engaged, that right glute, And try to, you might even take your hand towards your hips and just see if they're level. So watch my right hip kind of floats up, re-level it. Hands can come to prayer as well. If you want to play with that balance, 3 more breaths. Whee. Last one in, lengthen out kind of head, shoulders back. Hands come down, and then lower that top leg down. Okay, we'll start to come back up to standing. All right, so from here, we'll set up for Malasana, yogi squat. So you take your feet wide. And again, if you need support of a wall to bring yourself down or blocks, I'm gonna just sit on a bolster to support my pelvic floor because I'm in the final stages of pregnancy. I don't really need to push anything right now. Just want to find an opening around my hips. So take your feet hips width apart, toes in the same direction, knees. And start to exhale to lower down. All right. And here you can have the hands together, knees pressing, elbows against the knees, lengthen out front of head. I've also just been practicing this, palms open. All right. It helps me when I'm sitting on something to just feel that drawing open of the legs. So this is a great laboring position. You could also hold on to your partner while you're here. Maybe feeling the pelvic floor relax a little bit. So it's a great position to let the baby start to drop down when you're laboring. Take another round of breath. And when you exhale, we're gonna lift back up, but feel free to use your own body to bring yourself back up, or you can press your feet in the mat, exhale, contract the pelvic floor, and rise. Good. Heel toe the feet back closer together. All right. And we'll come into another standing balance pose before we move into our another standing series. Okay, so starting from the top of your mat, ground your feet into your mat again. We rock forward and back on the heels, just readjust yourself. And feel really steady in the hips. Okay, you can even hold on to hips or above as we start to draw our left knee up into our chest. So as you exhale, draw and lift baby from below. Slightly shift the weight over to the right leg and then hug onto the left knee. You can steady yourself with a wall if you need. Recalibrate, again, adjust and grow a little bit taller. Take another breath in here in this balance. When you exhale again, open your leg out to the left. Okay, so holding along the inside of your left knee. If you're able to catch your toes in this still, you can do that. Hand could be on your hip steadying. Take another breath in. And then draw the knee back into your chest. And then we'll step the leg behind us as you exhale. You can drag the foot into warrior 2. So settle into your stance. Remember that front shin stays vertical. You can always shorten your stance if you feel a bit of pressure below the pelvic floor. Maybe pause your practice if it's too much, or maybe it indicates you're going too deep. So find the lift of the back arch of your foot by pressing and engaging in the knife edge of your foot. Take the arms out wide and settle in. We'll resume or stay here for 3 full breaths, starting with inhale, 3, 2, 1. Stay as you are. Keep the legs steady. Flip the front palm, reverse warrior. Reaching that hand up. Left hand could be there on your hip or maybe on your thigh, just touching. Depth in that front leg still. Keep your gaze in a comfortable position. I know I keep looking around to talk. And then inhale, rise back up to warrior 2. Lunging forward with the fingers, create length from your side waist into extended side angle, elbow to knee. Stretch your left hand up in the air behind you, or you could keep it on your hip. Reaching the hand forward when you're ready. Fingertips towards the front of the room. Sometimes I'll just give you a little cue. I take my bottom hand and kind of hold onto my baby. So a little chance to connect here. So elbows there, I'm holding on. 3 more breaths. 3, 2, 1. And then nice and strong, press into the leg. Come back to warrior 2. Breath in. And then extend the front leg and come to triangle. So reaching through the right hand, hand can come to block to help elevate. So you still have that length from your right hip to your right armpit on your side waist. Hand can also be on shin. Okay, starting with that hand on your hip and then floating the arm up in the air. Taking another breath in. You can stay here, or you may come into half moon. So steady your block about a foot or so ahead. So you want to keep it the length of your torso. Usually the block right under my shoulder is a good indication. You could also do this against a wall. All right, take another breath in. And then gently come back into warrior 2. Let the toes touch and then replant the feet. Take another breath in. And then we'll bring our hands down to the mat. We'll come into lizard lunge again. So hands can come back on the blocks. Guide your left foot back behind you. Take a moment to lengthen your chest. Let the hips sink down. And then you come down to your forearms. Or stay with your hands on the blocks. When you inhale again, lift back up for half Hanuman. The chest and extend the front leg. Inhale to rise up, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. 2 more breaths. Try to flex the toes back, and you can also micro bend the knee to kind of protect the joint, especially if you're hypermobile. Lift up, lift the chest, bring the right knee back. So we'll take a connecting vinyasa here just to warm up again. We can do cat-cow, or you can do your plank to low plank push-up with your knees down variation. So squeezing legs together, and then exhale, lower. If you come into the plank, press back up. Keep those arms by your side waist when you do lower. Down dog. Just 2 breaths in down dog. When they're complete, start to walk yourself to the top of the mat again. Right. All right, press into the feet, come back up to standing. All right, readjust yourself. You might rise on the toes, activate the feet a bit. All right, so it's like you're gripping the mat and you feel the arches start to lift. So the thing is, our feet really cop a lot of our gravity. So it's good to be aware of your feet being supported. All right, especially if you're barefoot, being active and engaging through the feet. So steady with the left leg. As you exhale, you can start to lift the right heel up. Again, coming into a variation of Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. You could catch your big toe if you still have that balance. Otherwise, just holding onto the knee, cup the knee. Really press through the bottom leg and then lengthen out the crown of your head. When you exhale, open the leg wide and cup around the inside. So the knee kind of just rests into your hand. Left hand can stay on your hip. Take another breath in. Exhale, come back to the middle. And then gently take the right leg back. You can drag the feet to find warrior 2, just to be supportive of pelvic floor so you're not like jumping back. All right, front heel intersects back arch. Just calibrate a little bit with the hips. Got external rotation here of the left leg. Arms are reaching wide. Front knees slightly tracking towards the second toe, just like along the big toe. Let the shoulders relax. And usually your gaze down the middle finger, or you could keep your neck neutral by looking straight, having the chin over your chest. Being aware of the pose from the ground up. Start to flip your front palm. Exhale, reverse your warrior. So sometimes hand on hip can kind of feel a bit more supportive, or you can just have the fingers brushing there. Reaching, extending through that whole left side body. Side bends are amazing when you're pregnant, especially, well, now baby's dropped, I can breathe a bit better, but when it was higher up, I felt crammed in my ribs and my lungs. And we'll come back up to warrior two. Extended side angle, Parsvakonasana. Reaching forward, the elbow can come down to the knee. Right hand to hip to start, just to roll the chest open, so left ribs are coming through. And you might like to take the arm up or overhead. So you're getting that long, reactivate the back foot. I just plug mine back up. So long stretch from outer edge of right foot all the way up to fingers. Keep on breathing. Tap into that breath, your tool. Most important tool in labor. And then as you exhale again, steady in that front leg. We'll pause here for a breath in and out. And then extend the front leg, Trikonasana. If you need to shorten your stance at all, go for it. Hand can come to a block, right? To kind of create some length in your sideways to have that support. And then you might like to take the arm up towards the ceiling. And just come back to that nice flowing inhale and exhale. Nice relaxed breath. And if you want to hold on to your belly, you can. We can come into half moon. I've repositioned the hand on your hip. And then, a couple steps forward. Again, this is something I could do against the wall, and you'd have far more support. Check the bottom toes are facing forwards. So toes and heels are in line. Spiral the chest open. Take another breath here. Lift that back heel high as you can. And then gently come back into warrior two. If you're in triangle, coming back. And then coming into lizard lunge. So I use my hand on my knee to lower. Get your blocks handy. Start to lengthen your chest, hips forward. Breath in. And then you might lower to your forearms or just let your head kind of relax. And then on your next inhale, lifting up for half splits. Extend the leg. And walk the hands underneath your shoulders. Lifting up halfway, just lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. See where the breath can go. Is it in your belly? You feel your belly expanding when you inhale, a real deep breath. We'll lift up. You can guide your left knee back to meet the right. So either take cat-cow or your plank to low plank push-up. Okay, if you do the low plank, just remember to keep those arms close to your side waist. All right, length of crown of head, pressing up. Downward facing dog. So from down dog, we're going to do a couple down dog push-ups. All right. So you could do this in table, kind of letting the elbows come out, like down dog as an option. We'll do, my magic number is 8. All right. So when you're in down dog, you want to keep the head, everything nice and still. Okay, you can bend the knees slightly. When you inhale, just lower the crown of the head between the thumbs. Exhale, press away. Inhale, lower. Exhale, press. So doing whatever you feel like doing. We'll rest in child's pose for a moment. I'm going to show you from this angle. So out, in, whew. So when you do your 8, You can go up to 8. You could just do 1 if that's enough. We'll come into child's pose. So again, if you're pretty far along, I find modifying with the toes tucked pretty helpful. Makes more room for my belly. And then we'll lift back up. Coming into toe stand, my toes are already tucked. So your knees stay wide, and then you can tuck the toes under. It might be pretty intense if you don't do this very often. It's a big stretch to the soles of the feet. Okay, we'll take our mind off it by stretching through our wrists. So bring your palms together, interlace the fingers, and roll some circles. Okay, we'll do a few. And if you need to alleviate the weight, you can lift up the hips up or untuck the toes if it's absolutely too much. Try to go the other way. Feels kind of weird. All right, and then we'll do an eagle arm. So crossing, start with the right arm over. Okay, elbows over each other. You can start with a hug or bring the backs of the hands together. If you can get the hands, palms to touch, do that. Spiral the hands up like a bread tie twisty. Let the shoulders relax. Elbows in line with shoulders. Let the chin tuck. Breathe between shoulder blades and then switch sides. So crossing. Nice movie. Spiraling the hands over, so the left arm's over now, if I didn't mention that. And your feet might be loud, so we'll untuck the toes, hands come down. Kick the feet back out a little bit. And we'll lift back up into our down dog. Just to pedal the feet out a little bit. All right. Then we'll start to drop the knees back down. Okay. Just seeing if there's, I'm checking for time how much further I want to go. Yeah, so we'll come right into a seat now. And we'll take seated figure 4. This is a great option when doing pigeon in yoga class doesn't feel so good. So start with your feet just in front of you. And then bring your right ankle on top of the left knee. Okay, and then start to glide that heel and foot back down. All right, it can be helpful to sit on a bolster too, if you're really tight here. Flex the toes back. Right knee drawing wide. Hi. And keep the chest lifting. Yes, he's hungry. He wants his breakfast. I'm sorry, not yet. And rock the knee. Also, if you want to go a bit further, kind of extend the left leg a bit and then pick up your foot and rock it just like a little baby. Rock back and forth. So holding my leg, you know, or you can wrap it right around your arms if you have room. And then we'll start to switch sides. So place that foot down. Shake them out, and then cross left ankle on top of right knee. Remember to keep the toes flexed of that foot, of the left foot, to protect your ankle. So start with that rock side to side. You can bring your bum closer to your heel for a deeper stretch, or alternatively pick up the foot and the knee, and just do that little cradle. Okay. Sometimes I call this pigeon cradle. Stay upright. Again, using a pillow if you need to elevate the hips. And we'll bring that foot back down. Awesome. And then bring the feet together. Butterfly, I'll turn to face you. Knees coming wide. All right. So you might kind of massage the inner thighs a little bit. Release the adductors. Okay. And then hands could be on your ankles, or really whatever you need right here. You can keep the hands on the floor in front of you, lifting the chest. If you still can forward fold, maybe encourage a little bit, making sure you're not compressing the belly. Okay, sometimes I get like blocks and rest on them. Maybe I let my head rest on my hands. Okay, we're gonna hang out here for up to 5 breaths. So maybe just taking a moment to release in the lower back. If you want movement, you want to sway, do that. Maybe you want to lift up and then kind of fold again. All right. So starting to roll yourself back up or press back up. Okay, we'll come into a bit of a kind of easy twist, windshield wiper twist. So you let your feet come out in front of you, okay? And then let the knees drop over to the left, and then back over to the right. And then we'll bring them over to the left again. And this time you can take an easy twist. So you bring your foot on top of your knee, okay? You've got like a little zigzag happening. Okay, so you stay lifted, pressing into the sit bones. And then right hand over to left knee. Take a gentle twist. Again, staying open in the belly. We're not trying to compress in that twist. You might guide the chest further open, or your shoulder and then your head. 2 breaths. And then come back through the middle. We'll go over to the other side. So the knees drop over, the right foot's on top of the left thigh. Right. Okay. And then hand can go to your knee for the kind of fullest expression here. Otherwise it could be on the other knee if that's funny. So my hand's on my right knee. And we'll come back to the middle. Hi, I know. You want attention. All right, we'll set up for Shavasana. So Shavasana, when you're pregnant, usually around the end of the first trimester or so, it's not comfortable to lay on your back anymore, and also kind of it starts to compress the important veins, the vena cava. So it's encouraged to sit elevated. I'll just show you, if you know where you're going, go there. You could stay seated if you prefer, as we started. So I usually prop, out of here. I prop up my bolster on the blocks like that, and you can kind of position yourself. Sometimes you can pop another pillow there for that gap, and you have your feet together, knees wide, and then lean back over the bolster. Okay. Alternatively, you can lay on your left side with your leg propped on the bolster. Okay. So I'll just show you this position. You could also place a pillow, under your head. Smokey's being a bit of a pest. He just always comes to cuddle at Shavasana. All right, and when you're getting in and out of the pose, just a heads up, you want to roll over to your side, your left side usually, and then use your hands to press up. But I'm going to guide you through a relaxation. Okay, so get yourself comfortable. And I'll show you the other sideline position if you're not familiar. Often I'll use a pillow or a block under my left head. Okay, on your bed. On your bed. So prop my right leg onto the bolster, let my head rest there. Okay, so give yourself some time to arrive on the mat, feel the parts of your body that are there. Maybe you flutter the eyes and start to close them. All right, or there's a soft gaze about them. Take a big breath in and allow your body to feel heavy as you exhale, being held by the earth, the floor. And imagining a warm color or a ray of sunshine that is beaming down from the crown of your head, and it's going to move down through your body. And feel that warmth and energy from the sun or that color sweeping from the crown of your head down to your ears, your face, down all sides of your neck. And it's helping you to soften and surrender. Feel all these parts of the body releasing any tension, coming across your shoulders, and then down your heart, the back of the heart, the ribs, through the arms, elbows to the wrists, the fingers, feeling the warmth, and back to your side waist, your baby, your torso, the back line of your body, down to the hips. That warm light traveling down, that color warming you up. Down to the pelvis, everything softening. Down the thighs, from the knees to the ankles. And finally to the top of the foot, the toes and the sole of the foot. That light runs all the way through you from the crown of the head out through the soles of the feet. And you feel relaxed in this moment and at peace. Allowing yourself to just rest in this moment for a little bit longer before we start to move out of Shavasana. Remember, it's a Shavasana corpse pose, a time of surrender and letting go of things that are blocking your path, your journey. So maybe any fears that have come up, you could exhale as a sign of letting go, leaving them behind as you move into your day or night. Maybe any unnecessary comments you've received ever since letting people know you're pregnant. These doubts and worries can leave and be left behind. You come into your strength and your inner knowing. Connecting to your baby, you might start to bring your hand to baby. They may not be moving yet, or maybe they are pretty moving or active. Just send that warm light or color into baby's womb. Showing them your love and how excited you are to meet one day. Confident in your baby's abilities and your intuition. Take a huge breath in, filling up, feel your belly rise and expand, and then sigh the breath out. Allow a smile to come to your face, maybe, and start to wake the body up, fingers and toes. You can start to press your hands into your mat or roll over to your side if you were in butterfly over the bolster. Use your hands to come up, so careful not to switch on your abdominal muscles, something to practice, especially from the second trimester and into your postpartum period. And then use your hands to help stack your spine back up into the seat. We'll bring our hands to baby for that final little connection. Breathe into baby. Feel the love coming back from your baby, or imagine it. And then bring the palms together. We'll seal our practice with the universal sound. Taking a breath in for Om. Thumbs up to third eye. Your center of intuition. Everything you need is always within you. I honor you, Mama. Namaste. Thank you for joining. Drink lots of water.